How's it going, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. I think we're on Bend in Your Ear part 5, maybe 6, maybe 4. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, I'm coming to you live from the road somewhere. Nice hotel room in the middle of nowhere. Welcome to the glamorous life of a touring musician. Trying not to disturb the hotel neighbors here, but I wanted to make another one of these short videos, and just trying to think of some things. I'm trying to get to all the questions you guys have answered, or all the questions you guys have asked. Hope you're not out there answering your own questions, or maybe you are. I don't know. Been a great couple days. Just getting ready to head to Merlefest. But we've been doing some rehearsals with Rodney Crowell. Rob and I are going to be opening quite a few shows for Rodney this summer, starting in a couple weeks. I guess next week we're going to New York City and Philadelphia and a bunch of other places. I know we're doing this first run. We're doing New York and Philly, Chicago, maybe up close to Seattle. I know we're doing Portland, Oregon, and a bunch of California stuff. Then we go to Texas and all kinds of stuff. I don't even know the schedule, so you'll have to go to the website robandtrey.com or my website treyhensley.com. We'll have all the show dates and stuff there. But we're opening the shows, and then we're playing in Rodney's band. I'm playing electric guitar, and Rob's playing lap steel, which is cool. I haven't played electric guitar live in a long time. Rob and I used to play the Station Inn about once a month, and we'd do half electric and half acoustic. And before I started the duo with Rob, I started out playing bluegrass guitar, but I played in an electric band, and I had a country band and did some country records, and then I had a little 3-piece sort of blues rock band. But I haven't played electric guitar live in a long time, and that's it's a whole other animal. But I was going to talk about just some stuff here today. I'll answer a few questions right off the bat. I know somebody had asked me on my last video to talk about singing and what I do when I'm singing, if I have any vocal exercises, if I have any tips. And unfortunately, this is going to be a very short answered question, so if you're not a singer or you don't care about singing, don't close the video. I don't know anything about singing at all. I barely know how to play the guitar, but I know more about that than I do singing. I've never taken a vocal lesson, as you can probably tell. And so I have no idea what I'm doing, and I just kind of open my mouth and hope for the best. And I don't really do any warm-up things, Sometimes Rob and I'll sing a couple songs backstage, or maybe I'll sing a couple songs in a hotel room or whatever. And that does help, getting warmed up. But as far as knowing what I'm doing, I don't. Even to the point where last year I had to, go to the doctor and have some throat things. We were just very busy, all of 2021, or the last half of 2021, and on up into, middle of last year, and I was just, my voice was just worn out, and that was the gist of it. I didn't have anything wrong, just, a lot of effort to sing, for 90 minutes every night. It takes some energy, especially if you're doing it wrong. So I should probably figure out what I'm doing at some point and correct it. So I'm sorry to whoever asked that question. I don't really know anything about singing. And then some people were asking about songwriting, and in particular some of these songs from our last record, which I'm thrilled to say was just featured in Acoustic Guitar today. I love Acoustic Guitar magazine and the website, and they did a big write-up on our new record, and so I'm thrilled about that. That's way cool. And but they talk a lot about the songwriting, and I'll put that in the same category with singing. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm a big fan of just the craft of songwriting, and even just literature and reading and all that good stuff, and I do feel like that helps. being somewhat well read, and paying attention to great songs. It's kind of like picking, if you listen to Tony Rice all the time and you try to learn from those records and stuff, you're going to pick up some great stuff. If you listen to, any Merle Haggard lyrics, or if you're in the country world, or, even, listening to anything, any great bluegrass songs, listening to Bob Dylan, or Tom Petty songs, or Beatles song, anything that inspires you, really helps. Just for me, it's like creatively I have to get in a certain headspace when I'm writing. Like for this last record, even just recording, I was way into the band, and I've always been way into the band. Levon Helm and Robbie Robertson and Garth Hudson and those guys, and in particular Robbie Robertson's guitar style, and for this last record, I don't play a ton on the last record. I play a lot of electric guitar and a lot of rhythm stuff and a lot of parts on the songs, but there's not a lot of flat picking guitar solos. And particularly, I was just inspired before we started writing, and even before we started recording, and during recording, I was so inspired by those records that I wanted to play more of the song. And I know I've already talked about that in one of these videos, so today I was going to talk a little bit about inspiration. And I know a lot of people get hung up, and they feel like they're just spinning their tires in the mud when they're playing guitar, and I've been there. I'm sure probably sometime this week I will be there. You feel like you're not inspired, you don't have anything creatively going on, and everybody struggles with that. I struggle with it. Everybody that I know struggles with it. Nobody's creative 24 hours a day. And it comes to even just learning an instrument, playing the guitar. Nobody's inspired. If you're working on playing and you're sitting there playing 3 hours a day for 3 weeks and you don't feel like you've gotten it, I get it. It can be disheartening. And for me, like I just try to, when I'm home, I leave a guitar just kind of out. And there's a lot of different things that can make you inspired. For me, I love listening to different stuff, and even if it's, listening to a Cuban record, or just listening to, weird jazz stuff, or, really avant-garde jazz stuff. I got way into, was that Ornette Coleman science fiction record a couple years ago, which is just completely free jazz. It's just like, to the outside listener, it's probably just noises, but I love it so much, and that got me really inspired. But I was just going to talk a little bit about, all this stuff goes hand in hand together. Singing and songwriting and guitar playing, it's all, hand in hand. The creative process and being inspired, and just, trying different ideas. For me, like, that song I started off with was Angela and the Baker, I think's the name of it. That's an old fiddle tune, I guess, or probably, a very, very old tune. But it's a beautiful melody. And, just working on that, there's several different ways to play it. I like to play it in drop D. different different ways to play it. I kind of went off on a tangent there and forgot where I was. But I was going to talk about, when I was working on that song, just, trying to figure out different ways to play it when I could play it by myself. And, figuring out drop D kind of worked better because I could keep this rhythmic sort of droning thing happening in the background. Or, when I was doing the open string stuff, so. Which is all just kind of open string around if you're doing the cage system, it's kind of the G shape of the D chord. Going into the C shape of the G chord. A lot of people will talk about the open string stuff, but that's one of my favorite ones, is the B part of that song. That's just a cool kind of, sounds like a doorbell or something. I like that. But I was just thinking about that song was one that it really took a lot of inspiration to figure it out, like all the open note stuff and the different tuning. And when I'm writing songs, I'll do that a lot. Like when I'm just sitting around playing guitar, I'll keep a capo handy. And even if it's, I don't do different tunings very often. But sometimes I'll mess around with, just playing around and with a capo on and just kind of keeping everything flowing. And even if it's something, and this is, I've talked about practice routines and stuff like that. This doesn't really fall in that category for me because it's usually just me messing around with the guitar. But all this to say, if you're feeling uninspired, slap a capo on, tune your E string down to D, try a new pick. I'm trying this tone slab. It's a Darth tone pick, and I really liked it. And when I'm doing a session, I'll bring my blue chips, and I've got some Apollo picks, and even just some plastic Dunlop Tortex picks or whatever those are, some Diodario picks, and I'll keep them out just in case this particular song makes me feel inspired to play something in a particular way. Getting into slide guitar was a big thing for me that got me inspired, just working on And that's kind of one of those things. A lot of people will talk about the right and the wrong way to do something. It's like I play the slide with the slide on my middle finger. And it's just because when I was trying to figure it out, I didn't really have anything to go off of. Nobody was teaching me. And I just happened to watch Warren Haynes play, and he plays with the slide on his middle finger. He's one of my favorite players. But most people you see will play with slide on their ring finger or even a slide on their pinky, so they'll be able to, fret. But those of you that know my playing know that I barely use my pinky anyway, so it's definitely useless for slide too. But I was just kind of correlating this into, my current setting, playing these tunes with Rodney Crowell. If you guys come to one of the shows, you'll kind of see that mine and Rob's set will be way different than the Rodney set, and mine and Rob's playing will be way different during our set than it is during the Rodney set. A lot of these songs have these just beautiful parts that are on the records, that I kind of think of his songs and his songwriting in the same vein as, the Beatles or Everly Brothers, or some of these just beautiful parts in these songs that kind of make the songs what they are. I was just thinking about Wake Up Little Susie, and I don't know how to play it really, but I mean, if you didn't hear that in Wake Up Little Susie, then it wouldn't be Wake Up Little Susie. It's just as important as any of the words in that song. And I feel like a lot of Rodney's songs have those really important electric guitar parts and fiddle parts and just rhythm guitar parts. And there's a lot of space. And I love that. And that's really inspiring, that just taking a step back and maybe thinking, what can I not play? And that's just as important as what can I play, and so yeah, think about that too. What can I not play? Not every solo has to be every note that or every lick that there's ways to find inspiration in different things, so yeah, go off tonight and pick with a different pick and listen to something you don't normally listen to, and tune your guitar in a weird chord, and do it because I told you to. All right, I'm gonna get off here, and yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about, and I'll try to talk about it. And if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel. This is a shameless plug, but it really helps. Helps grow all this stuff, and gotta feed the beast, and the beast being the internet, not me. Although it is dinner time. See y'all later.